In 2010, Keisuke Honda scored a brilliant free kick goal and was one of the most desired players in Europe, with English clubs such as Arsenal and Liverpool wanting to sign him for potentially fees in excess of 20 million. But this did not happen, and Keisuke Honda faded out of the view of many countries, including England, in this time. So what happened to him, and where is he playing now, 8 years after his performance in the World Cup and the transfer interest that was placed in him? Hi, I'm Ghost Masala, and welcome back to a slightly different video. I'm going to try some sort of different stuff over the coming days, because I haven't uploaded a lot recently, so I've been doing stuff, so I'm trying to do some different stuff. Please leave suggestions though, but there might be some different new types of content coming in the next few days. So please leave suggestions on what sort of stuff you'd like to see. Of course, I definitely listen to suggestions, unless they're about GeoGuessr. Anyway, that's not what you've clicked on a video for, so let's get into the guide. Keisuke Honda turned professional in the year 2004, playing for Nagoya Grampus, the team that in 1995 was managed by Arsene Wenger and had Gary Lineker playing for them at striker. However, at this point in time they were a mid-table team. Now they're in the second tier of the J League. And at this time he became well known for his free kicks. Of course, later his free kicks would get even better at the World Cup, but he became well known for his free kicks, and he scored 11 goals in 90 appearances, leaving at the age of 21 for VV Venlo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. They a club who spent a lot of time in the second tier of the Dutch league system. But at this time, Honda helped them get promoted from the second tier to the first tier with a very impressive season. And you'll see a lot of this from Honda, just helping his team up a lot. And at this point, he upped his game another level, gaining an extra level of skill in his dribbling and also his long shots, which he became a sort of his special trait or something like that. VV Venlo are not particularly well known for developing young talent compared to the other clubs in the Eredivisie. However, they did end up signing Maya Yoshida later, and that's basically the only other transfer of note that I could find. And in his time at VV Venlo, he scored 24 goals in 68 appearances, which on average is a goal every 3 games, which for at the time he was playing in central midfield was a very good run. Of course, that would attract interest from other teams in Europe, and in 2009 he got a £6 million move to CSKA Moscow. And at CSKA he was very impressive, and that's why he got so much attention from the other European clubs. And in 2010 he scored 2 goals, one of them being the amazing free kick that I was talking about earlier. And of course, this attracted a lot of interest, as I said before. However, of course, he had only recently signed for CSKA, signing in December of 2009. So he decided, the fee would be too much for clubs who wanted to buy him, and 2, he decided to stay there anyway and run out his contract and wait for a move there. And he did decide to stay until 2013 to run out his contract, when he was snapped up by another club. At CSKA, scored 20 goals in 94 and helped CSKA a lot in that time. In 2014 he finally got a big move. However, this was not him at his full potential at all, as he wasn't used properly, and in his prime years he sat on the bench most of the time. He was often subbed on in most of the games he played. AC Milan also moved him down the right wing, and that didn't really suit Honda at all. He played at that time and before and after, he played much better as sort of just playing behind the striker, being able to play them in and take long shots easier. However, he can play on the right, as we saw for Japan in the World Cup. In 2014 as well, he was at AC Milan this time. Of course, 2014 was a World Cup year. He scored another World Cup goal, taking his tally up to 3 goals in the 2 World Cups he played in, which is very impressive. Not too many players who have done that. However, Honda only scored 9 goals at his time in AC Milan over those 3 years, 9 goals in 81 appearances, and to make things worse, in the last season he was at AC Milan, he only played 8 times in 16-17, so he really needed a move elsewhere to try and get into Japan's World Cup squad for the next World Cup in 2018. And he decided to go to Pachuca. Now, to many, if you don't know where Pachuca is, it's a team in Mexico who at the time, I think they just won the Apertura League the previous season before Honda joined, and he moved in order to get into the World Cup squad. So you may be thinking, why didn't he just move to somewhere like, I don't know, England? Probably a mid-table club would have taken him then, or maybe somewhere in Spain, or back to Russia, back to CSK, Moscow, or something like that. Well, Honda was trying to improve his international image, and to that he went to the Apertura title winners Pachuca, and he was one of the players of the season there. Pachuca did not play well in the two tournaments that Honda was at the club, the Apertura and Clausura leagues. It's a bit complicated as to how those work. I'm not going to explain it here, but basically in certain parts of South America they have 2 tournaments, and then the winners of both those tournaments play each other in like a cup final, kind of like the MLS, if you know how that works. But in both of those tournaments, Pachuca finished in the mid-table, but Honda basically helped them in every way. If he hadn't have helped them, Pachuca probably would have been relegated. He moved back into the middle of the pitch, and as we see, Honda played much better when he was at Pachuca, and he scored 10 goals in 30 games for Pachuca in the season. Yeah, and then that set him up well for World Cup 2018, where he was back in full strength after he had not been picked for many of Japan's qualifying matches, and he'd scored another goal against Senegal, which was crucial to Japan progressing into the next round, first of all, and it also took his World Cup tally to 4, which makes him the highest scoring the highest scoring Japanese player at a World Cup of all time. He might be the highest scoring Asian player at a World Cup, not sure though. I believe the Saudi Arabian player has also scored a goal at 3 different World Cups, so don't quote me on that, as Japan got to the knockout stages and were unlucky to lose to Belgium. And Honda almost scored another brilliant free kick against Belgium, only for Courtois to throw the ball out quickly and counter well. And in 2014, Honda moved again to another strange club for 2.9 million, Melbourne Victory, which is one of the best teams in Australia in the Hyundai A-League. Honda Hyundai A-League, I don't know. That's why he moved there, but he moved there in order to once again improve his international image. You might be wondering, well, what's this with his international image? Why does he want to do that? Well, of course, you may have seen with like players such as Zlatan and David Beckham and players such as them, they want to sort of do stuff after they retire, as Beckham and, well, I'm guessing Zlatan will do. And Honda has recently created a charity with Will Smith, which aims to raise $100 million or something like that. But that's probably why he's wanting to improve his image, and that's why he's moved to clubs like Melbourne Victory. However, this is a very good move for Melbourne Victory, and yeah, I believe he moved in the last week. So yeah, that's what happened to Honda, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I might do more plays in the future. I was thinking of maybe doing one about maybe Mario Balotelli. I think that could be quite interesting. Of course, I very much liked him when he was at Man City, or maybe someone else like that. I'm trying to think. There was someone else who I had in my head too, but I can't think of them. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave suggestions. I'll be trying lots of different stuff over this week and next week and stuff like that, if I can think of ideas. Yes, and also leave suggestions, because I need ideas, because I'm running out of ideas for football content, so I might have to go to non-football content, and you know how that goes. Fortnite does not go well. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, and yeah.